What is up, Mets fans? I guess this is becoming a thing now. Every other series, it's going to be up and down and up and down. Mets roller coaster has already started here in April. Terrible series against the Diamondbacks. Started off great. Ended about as bad as it could have. Mets get blown out in the last two games of the series against a Diamondbacks team that is not particularly very good. We're going to talk about everything going on from the performances, the lack of hitting, Carlos Mendoza's great day on Tuesday, horrible day on Thursday, Manaea, David Peterson. I mean, there's way too much to talk about this early in the season, but that's what we're going to do. Before we get going into it, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. We're going to do deep dives into more Mets players in our next episode, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. Members get access early. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. Thank God we didn't go to that game, James. Thank God.
Yeah, we toyed around with it. We're like, McLean, rubber match, but it's cold. It's a little too cold. And that would have been such a and probably a lot of you guys listening to this were at that game, did brave the cold and sit there and watch the Mets blow that game in the seventh inning. That was very disappointing watch. This is the first time I got like true mad this season, which is saying a lot because there has been moments too, but this is the first one.
Yeah, this was curmudgeon-y for me. I think that was where I felt today, was just like watching the game in the living room and just being like, man, this is really, really annoying. Like, I was asked, like, are you mad? I'm like, no, I'm annoyed. This is an annoying loss because the offense not hitting, that's something we'll talk about here, but also at the same time, you go hot and cold. I don't know if I'll overreact to the offense early in the season as much as maybe other people would like. The thing that I think we can react to, and the thing that is so confusing, is, again, Carlos Mendoza did such a great job being proactive on Tuesday, making the right decisions, playing the right matchups, pushing the right buttons. And then it seemed like Thursday he just went completely into like coast mode, which was bizarre because there was obvious defensive changes that needed to be made late in the game. 1-0. It's not like the Mets were up 6-0. If they were, I can understand keeping Vientos at first base. I can understand keeping Brett Beatty in right field. It was a one-run game. It got tight. You even had another opportunity that when you had a pitcher come in, could have still made defensive changes in the middle of the inning. It was confusing.
And Vientos made the last out. That was in the fifth inning, if I'm not mistaken. Sixth inning. Wait, no, he made the last out in the fifth inning. That was the hard ground ball to third base.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Beatty made the last out in the sixth inning. So again, there were opportunities to take guys out, reshuffle, see what was going on. You had Carson Bench on the bench when the left-handed Eduardo Rodriguez was leaving the game again after that sixth inning when Brett Beatty made the final out. It just wasn't.
Even had Jared Young, who could have played both of those positions.
Possibly better than both of the guys that were on the field. Just even go over what happened that seventh inning after McLean looked so good again.
So good.
I want to bottle up those first 5 innings from Nolan McLean every single start and just take him home with me. But to let the first two guys on base in that seventh, or two of the first three, because he struck out Del Castillo in between that Perdomo. Perdomo's a pest. He takes a
That's
good
your
at
guy,
bat.
Jerry
Perdomo, but Aldo Lopez, new one. But I just right there to take him out. A lot of Mets fans, I think, were upset that McLean comes out exactly the 100 pitches with guys on. I don't think that was the worst decision. It felt like he was running out of gas. I'm not going to super duper chastise that specifically. No. I also don't think Luke Weaver pitched particularly bad. Like he
got 2 outs.
The ball, again, the Beatty one, that's not a definite out. I'm intrigued to see when we get a lot more of the catch data on it on Friday morning. I want to see what Beatty's route was. I want to see the first way he turned. I want to see the first step. That felt like a play that possibly a guy like Tyrone Taylor, who was in left field, or possibly Carson Bench, who was on the bench, maybe has at least a better chance to make. But that was an executed pitch from Luke Weaver, I would say. That was a change up on the black. He threw one just a pitch before. Yeah, great piece of hitting by Gabriel Ramirez. A good hitter. And then I think the Alec Thomas ground ball next is what disappointed me more, because Mark Vientos grabbed that in the backhand, picked it up, had the runner dead to rights at home, was Jose Fernandez, and then just spiked it.
Couldn't have almost made a worse throw. He threw it to the wrong side of the bag, spiked it. Luis Torrens couldn't even come close to trying to tag Justin Fernandez. Justin Fernandez?
No, it's Jose.
Jose Fernandez, my bad. Who's Justin Fernandez? Did we go to high school with the Justin Fernandez?
Yeah, we did go to high school with Justin Fernandez.
That's why.
It's also weird to say the name Jose Fernandez.
Yeah, that's also probably part of it too.
Yeah.
But he couldn't even attempt to tag because the throw was that bad. It was so far away from him.
That was a great pick by Torrens at the time to maintain it being a one-run game. That ball easily could have got behind him. Another run could have scored.
But it was sloppy baseball. And the thing that is annoying is that, and not to be that guy, you guys can connect the dots here, but we heard all offseason, we heard at the end of the last year, run prevention. There's no world, there's no world where on planet Earth, Mark Vientos at first base, Brett Beatty in right field is run prevention. And I know that part of the reason that this is happening is because Jorge Polanco is tight. And part of the reason that's happening is because Juan Soto is hurt. So there are guys that are not available to be in the lineup. But the idea that our options next in a late game, when you can make changes, you're allowed to do it. And something that we've talked about before, the Mets for some reason like to handcuff themselves and not use their full 26-man roster every single day to their ability. They did it again today, and it cost them the game. There was the Beatty one, like you said. That was a tough play probably for an outfielder just in general. Still going to be crashing into the wall. But I do think that there was a way higher chance that a right fielder makes that play than Brett Beatty ever does. He doesn't know where the wall is. He's taken so few reps out in the outfield. It's hard to ask him to make difficult plays in right field. It's hard to ask him to make simple plays. It's not his position. And then to have Vientos in at first base, we're doubling down on it now. We're doubling down on bad defense along with, like, again, he didn't do anything wrong, but, like, Bo Bichette's also not good at third base defensively. So, like, where's this run prevention coming in now?
Again, but also run prevention in a game like this where you do want to sneak more offense in the lineup. I guess Alvarez at DH.
Yeah,
but then also you're putting Tyrone Taylor in left. Like, I don't know.
There is no more offense there because you like I love Luis Torrens as a backup catcher, but we know he's a great backup catcher. If we're talking like offense, I know he's had some big hits. He's not a good hitter. Like he's just not one of the better hitters on this lineup. So if we're talking about offense and defense, we have to pick one. Let's either go offense or let's either go defense. We did neither today. We kind of just floated in the middle.
But like we've said, it's fine at that point in the game to start making those changes.
Yes.
Even to start Brett Beatty and have him hit seventh, move Francisco Alvarez up in the order for the first time this year. Beatty being in the lineup and playing the wrong position against a left-handed pitcher. It was I don't know. This is one of those games I feel like it happens more often than not. And it's probably a little more due to roster alignment than anything that Carlos Mendoza's doing, where the lineups just feel weird. They don't feel like they're fitting together well. It's a tightly wound roster.
Yeah, I will take shots at Davis Stearns here in a second too for part of that reason. But Mendoza had all the tools today to make the right decisions, and he did not. So that's the concerning part, and that's something that we've talked about Mendoza a lot of times. It's just it seems like at points, and especially when things get tight, close at the end of games specifically, it feels like the game moves fast for him. It doesn't feel like he's ready or thinking ahead at times. And we've seen it with bullpen management. We've now seen it with defensive stuff early in this game. This is a Mets roster that you have to be willing to move people around, especially in a close game. You got to be smarter. You got to take care of the baseball better. And the Mets did not do that. Now, to give David Stearns a little flack here, run prevention. It does feel a little fucked up, honestly, this early in the season that we have one of the major free agent signings we had. I don't know how many games at first base he's going to be able to play. If he's this tight right now, it doesn't feel like he's just going to simply get less tight. Yeah, Jorge Polanco by the end of the season. It seems like this is going to be a nagging thing constantly. So, like, is he even really a first baseman, or do we pay him $20 million a year to play DH?
Well, even if you play him $20 million to be a DH, if you can be a DH, then that's it. You can be a DH. But having Achilles tendonitis being reported through April 7th, like, that's kind of a frustrating thing. Right at the same time, I mean, he probably makes a much better throw than Marco Vientos if he's at first base.
Probably, yeah.
Theoretically, that's kind of the whole reason he was somewhat meant to be there. And then this is the thing the Mets do sometimes. Like a lot of teams do this, not just the Mets, but try to nurse guys through an IL stint. We did this for 2 days with Juan Soto through the end of the Giants series. Like, you're probably going to put him on the injured list anyway. Like, it's April right now. There's no point in trying to push an envelope in April. Just take 10, 15 days, take 2-3 weeks off, and just make sure this is right. Because, like we said, like, to carry a roster where Jorge Polanco can't play the field, Mark Vientos should not play the field.
Can't play the field.
Brett Beatty is not allowed to play his best position. It's like now all of a sudden,
three of his best positions.
Now all of a sudden, similar to last year, it's like, where are all of these guys going to fit together? How are the puzzle pieces come together?
It's just I don't really know, and Ronnie Mauricio doesn't find himself into these games. Not that he had a chance to like find his way into this game, but like again, it's just the bench feels shallow when we do have 26 men, and it doesn't feel like it at all.
No, and I misspoke before saying they tried to get more offense. I think there was a time where they didn't, because a game like this, it wasn't a punt either, though. It was just a weird, I don't know. We have weird lineups right now. It's also this situation where it seems like they're trying to get guys at bats, like get Torrens more at bats, like get him in the bats once every 3 games. But Alvarez playing 12 right now is really taking him out that much. Get Tyrone Taylor at bats, because he came into the game as a pinch runner on Tuesday, but he didn't get a plate appearance, And Tyrone Taylor had a nice hit in this game. Like his leadoff double, that was the 5th, the 4th, whatever that was. Like, consistently we had chances to tack on against Eduardo Rodriguez, and it felt like the whole time the chances to tack on. And Ronnie and Keith mentioned this. It was like any one run would have felt like a relative kill shot. And in that kind of game against McLean, when he had his stuff working like that in that kind of weather, and you just like we had a guy on base every single inning, second through fifth, and the fourth and fifth, there's the leadoff guy gets on, and you get nothing to show for it. It's annoying.
It's a moon face curse. I miss Gary.
It did kind of feel a little sleepy, and maybe that was kind of part of it too, to watch this game. It's also like it's not an excuse, but like this time of year playing baseball in New York is terrible. It's so ironic too that we're playing this week at home, and then we're going on the road Monday, and Monday's through next week's gonna be gorgeous the entire time.
The one thing I gotta say though, and Keith and Ron even like alluded to it as the game got a little bit later. They're like, man, Diamondbacks are getting up there, and they're letting it loose. Like
both teams are playing the cold.
Yeah, but both teams are playing the cold. The Diamondbacks were playing a lot more loose. I mean, they had a lead, so obviously it's more fun, and it is easier to be loose and take big swings. But like,
they didn't feel that loose early in this game. It felt like once the wheels came off, they started having fun. Of course,
but like there's the I hate the cold excuse because both teams are playing it, and we're just not seeing the Mets be the team that actually swing well. Luis Robert is the one who's swinging the bat well right now. That guy can't get out. He's a beast. Shout out to his home run. Otherwise, we got nothing.
And for all the conversations about Mets punt lineup, like not putting the right guys out there, like the guys that took over this game for the Diamondbacks were Gabriel Moreno, who's a great player, pinch hits for James McCann, who happy to see him not succeed.
Thank God.
Alec Thomas, Tim Tawa, Jorge Barroso. Jorge Barroso, a serial ball player.
Big draft neck Mark fan.
Is he really?
Huge.
What leather he flashed in center field this series.
Good glove. Good little athlete.
But like those are the guys on this team who were going off. Like, of course, on Wednesday was Corbin Carroll. That guy's a lunatic, freak of nature. But like, Ketel Marte did very little in this series. Geraldo Perdomo was pesky, but he also didn't really do a ton to hurt you. It was like these were the guys that kind of kept burning the Mets. And it's like, all right, someone get a hit, someone get a hit, someone get a hit. Like we're an extra inning, comeback, walk-off win away from getting swept at home against a bad baseball team.
Yeah, the bullpen's horrendous. We couldn't score against their bullpen. They've got
Nothing.
nobody. They've got zero in that bullpen. Almost none of those guys would be on the Mets roster. So, like, thank God we beat fucking Paul Sewald. I'd be pulling my hair out right now.
But I wish that we could spend more time right now talking about how great Nolan McLean looked.
I know.
Because this was a great start. He's coming out of the gate blazing hot. Like, that first start was, like, kind of wonky and weird, but these last two was just
comfortable.
I don't know if you're tracking pitching ninjas tonight. How many times he gifts Nolan McLean?
Was not, but I mean,
it's like 30.
He threw some sliders and some sweepers and curveballs or whatever, where it was like, it looks like a blitz ball. It doesn't move like baseballs I've seen very often.
He had those back-to-back strikeouts to end the sixth, and I thought his night was ending after that because one of how excited he got. It felt like pumped. That was like a roar of like, all right, I'm done. Like maybe that's something also here where you let the adrenaline get really high. You come back out the next inning, you walk the leadoff batter. But like the way that he froze Ketel Marte on the backdoor curve, and backdoor curve isn't really a baseball saying. That feels even weird to like come out of my mouth saying a backdoor curve. But that thing had like 20 inches of horizontal movement, so we just nailed the corner. Ketel Marte looked absolutely bewildered when that happened.
He's like, the fuck?
And then Ildearmo Vargas came up. He had literally no chance whatsoever. Fastball low, sweeper that grabbed the corner, and then my favorite front hip sinker.
That's all you need.
Pop that thing. The front hip sinker, 19 inches one way. That curveball to Ketel Marte, 20 inches the other way.
It's insane. The stuff that Nolan McLean has is so good. So, hey, if we're going to take something positive out of an awful, awful game, Nolan McLean is he's fucking awesome.
I hated how much they kept showing him as that game was going off the rails, too, because, like,
I know.
He's such a competitor that him putting those guys on, he's going to go in the locker room and I'll be like, that's on me. Can't put my guys in that situation. But it's the tightness of it all. And I think that Carlos Mendoza, this happened in the game on Wednesday. And I was talking to some people on Twitter about it. Shout out to Bulky Penguin, where if he does feel like he's the kind of manager who wants to get his guys going, puts his guys first. And similar to the kind of stuff we're talking about now, the one chance the Mets really had in that game against Ryan Nelson, that was in the fifth inning when they hit two guys on, put the bases loaded, whatever it was,
yes.
And Vientos comes up. That was the sixth inning. Beatty had just singled home a run, and Vientos comes up against Ryan Nelson. And you have Jared Young right there on the bench.
Yeah, Ryan Mauricio, too.
And Ryan Thompson was warming up, but I don't think that Taylor, Clark, or Murillo were warming up, if I remember correctly. So. And Vientos comes up there against Nelson. He put some okay swings earlier in that game, but he winds up striking out in a very fastball-heavy at-bat. You're like, that was the chance you had to get back in. Not that you would have gone back in, but again, it's the push and pull between I want to get my guy Mark Vientos going, who I've seen get hot, who's been my guy for a few years, who's been swinging it better this season, but there's objectively a better option on the bench in a neutral environment. And choosing between those, I think sometimes
And he did it
kind
on
of gets
Tuesday.
to.
He just did it the day before, where it was like you made the gutsy decision. You used your brain and you said we can get an advantage here. And he made those decisions and it worked out. And then it just seemed like the rest of the series. Did he get yelled at? Did he get told bad, Carlos? Like,
I don't think so.
So then, like, what is his reasoning? And I pray to God, for once, can a fucking reporter please ask Carlos Mendoza one tough question, because he gets the softest of softballs after every single series. Frame it in a way that makes it seem nice. Hey, Carlos, run us through your head. What were you thinking here? Don't even say, why didn't you do this? Let him say the words. It's just, I know it doesn't matter because the decisions were already made and the Mets lost in this, but like, I got to know what the thought process is, because there doesn't appear to be one.
I think the thought process is like, let's let Mendy like run by the seat of his pants, because in a similar sense, again, if you look by pure process, and I think this is an ironic conversation that I'm sure no Yankees fans listen to this, but whenever I see it on my timeline, those Yankees fans get pissed about Aaron Boone, where it feels like the decisions are a bit more robotic. Like sometimes you kind of just want to play process, but also the fact that there's a whole dugout of assistants. Yeah. And these things aren't coming up, so I do feel like it's like let's let Mendoza be Maverick, like let's let him do his thing.
I know,
but
I hate it.
Again, but like this is kind of like some elements of new school and old school.
Yeah, but he also like he's not fucking Bobby Cox. Like he's not this guy who like has.
It's crazy you went there first.
Bobby Cox is awesome.
Yeah, but he is. But like it's funny. But, like, first one to go with.
I know. I was trying to avoid saying Joe Torre as hard as possible. I could not say Joe Torre in good confidence because that guy was giving all-star teams.
Give me La Russa before 75.
I'll never say La Russa.
Leland.
Leland. I'll give you Leland. It's just like he hasn't earned that feel. So and you know what? I think like the smart teams make the right decisions. The teams that win make the right decisions. And like, yes, you do mention like people give Boone crap for being robotic and sometimes being a little bit too much. But I think even to like a fault, like the guys that he chooses with, like it is weird situations like pinching Ben Rice. Mark Vientos isn't fucking Ben Rice. Mark Vientos was 72 hours away from being cut at one point. Like
even 2 years ago, Mark Vientos wasn't even Ben Rice.
Yeah, he wasn't even close. Mark Vientos was still not even close. So it's like there's guys in this, like Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Bo Bichette, Jorge Polanco. Those are the four guys locked in right now. Don't play the fucking matchup. There are four best hitters. Those are the guys.
And Luis Robert.
And Luis Robert, my bad. And Luis Robert. How could I forget my king? Those five. Everybody else, we got to be fluid. And I think the way that David Stearns built this team, I think he had an expectation that was going to be a little bit more fluid, but also we haven't seen it, so maybe not.
But again, the rigidity of what this roster looks like right now, without Juan Soto, with Carson Bench being, I was going to say lost at the plate, hitting very poorly, because I think this series he swung it like a teeny tiny bit better. Like
got hit.
He got a hit Tuesday. That play by again, that play by Jorge Barrosa was like, wow. That's like when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
Like if you're ever in a slump, you're like, oh man. I was listening to Keith Rad on the radio for that one Howie. They're like, that's what happens when you're in a slump, kid. Like that's baseball.
Welcome to the big leagues.
But especially when you've lost Soto, Jorge Polanco was, again, process wise looked okay, but wasn't getting good production. Now he's out, and Lindor and Bichette can't really string it together. That's when this all starts like very, very, very bad.
Yes, and that's where you need the manager to step up and do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, just to briefly go over these other two games, like
I think not even to briefly go over the games. Let's pick out
concepts,
players. Let's go positive before we go negative again, right?
Okay. Positive. I think Bo has the swing back.
He looks much better at the plate.
He looks totally fine. The hits aren't coming like it's not an avalanche right now, and he's not getting to any power. But that first week was like, but now.
Yeah, I'm going to say from May 4th to the 11th, he's going to be hitting like in that week. He's going to have like a 460 batting average week or some shit like that.
Yeah, I was gonna predict if his batting average gets over 300 the next 2 weeks. I honestly feel like it will.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think by May 1st he'll have touched a 300 batting average at some point. I don't know
for the season.
Yeah, I don't know. He's 230 right now.
Okay,
we're closing in on that. Lindor is the same thing where it's like, have you guys been here before? Like, not to make excuses for the guy, but like, I can't overreact to a cold start by him.
Like, we talking a lot about the Yankees here, but like Curtis Granderson was a historically slow starter every single year.
It's a Met.
Yeah, he's a Met. Mark Teixeira was the king of like having the worst April in the history. Cano, I think, was a slow start too. Like
Aprils.
Sometimes guys just
Julio
start
Rodriguez.
slow. Yeah, like we know this, so I don't know why people are acting like this is surprising. I wish Francisco Lindor was playing better. I wish he was hitting. I wish we didn't have to have the slow start every year, but this is what we know it is.
It was a frustrating juxtaposition to watch two guys who got the same injury that was reported on the same day between Francisco Lindor and Corbin Carroll. Lindor, it does feel like sometimes he's working against himself, especially from the left side, where Corbin Carroll is lacing doubles and triples all over the field. Looks like he's never even had a hammock in his life.
Corbin Carroll also has always taken a much harder swing than Francisco Lindor and always been a little more aggressive like that.
Corbin Carroll also, he seems to have like superhuman healing strength.
He ripped out his shoulder from his socket that basically ended Michael Conforto's career.
Last year, he had like a grade 2 hamstring. I think he was back in under 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Where like that's a 6-week injury. Like I don't know how he continues to do it. Or also maybe because those injuries were reported the first day of spring training. Maybe Carroll's happened 2 weeks before. You know what I mean? These tiny little things you can't talk about. But at the same time,
maybe when he got hurt, he rested and didn't try to play through it.
Possibly, yeah. But it is frustrating that, right now without Juan Soto, it'd be really nice for Francisco Lindor to carry the freight, especially when Bo Bichette's still kind of getting his sea legs under him. The same way Luis Robert's doing it right now.
Yeah, which we do need some more offense. Ronnie Mauricio's swing that we saw him take was phenomenal. I loved seeing that, especially off of Paul Sewald.
I'll tell you this. Let's say that Paul Sewald was cloned like 500 times. Like let's say the only pitcher in Major League Baseball was Paul Sewald. Like, think about the offense environment that would exist if that was the case. I still think that Ronnie Mauricio could win an MVP award. I couldn't even pick a different guy in the league I'd rather Ronnie Mauricio facing.
That was crazy, too, that Sewald shook off twice to then go right back to his fucking
fastball down the middle.
90-poo fastball. Couldn't have put it on a tee better. That was the one shining moment of this entire series was Ronnie Mauricio walk-off hit against Paul Sewald, who couldn't do his bullshit again.
And again, I think right now Luke Weaver's getting some flack right now for putting a few pitches in the right spot, then falling apart after stuff went wrong. Tuesday, 10th inning, that was incredible. The fact that we've been through some of these extra inning games, when you get out of that inning scoreless, and just even you get that first pop up off the bat with the guy in second, you're like, yes, we did it, we got to hold the one. But it was like that was a really, really nice appearance by him. And then to open up the opportunity to do it, give Ryan a chance to win the game.
Yeah, which those were positives. All right, skip the next game, I guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, I get positive. I guess could be Benj getting a hit.
Yeah, Benj getting a hit as well.
I think there's a lot of
Freddie Peralta didn't look his best. He looked
really good for 4 innings.
I was gonna say he was probably in total maybe 3 inches away through all 100 pitches from probably going 7 and striking out 11.
The Diamondbacks, so many ups and downs with their challenges in this series.
Yeah, crazy.
Gabriel Moreno had a great game on Wednesday with Ryan Nelson challenging. It was incredible. But Freddie also, in that 5th inning, you saw him the whole time, licking, rubbing. It's like, pause. But that was a situation where I feel like he just completely lost the grip of that ball. There were so many fastballs that sailed and then curveballs or sliders that were non-competitive. And just like, it fell apart fast. And I hate that the narrative is now growing, and Toy Tacoma did the story about it, where it's like Freddie Peralta's inconsistency then like carrying over into WAR. How many innings he usually pitches per start. We're like, I don't want to start that now because, maybe that will wind up being true, but this was only the 3rd time in McLean's career he's also ever got to the 7th inning. It's like, it's okay.
It's a fucking long season, guys.
Just pitch.
Are we going to write the same articles about Clay Holmes if he goes 6 innings again? Or are we going to say he's an all-star, an ace?
It's a workhorse now, guy. That's it.
It's crazy.
It's workhorse Clay Holmes to you. But it's just, and then another conversation that needs to happen in David Peterson and Sean Manaea. I'm just going to lump them in together right now.
How about David Peterson's comments after the game?
What were those?
Did you not see them in The Athletic?
Talk to me.
Mendoza talked about how they want Peterson to challenge the righties in more, I believe. And Peterson, I think, said that they're not doing it enough.
Oh.
There's a disagreement about how David Peterson is attacking hitters between the Mets management and David Peterson right now.
Okay.
And it feels like there might be a little miscommunication going on possibly. Or David Peterson was salty because he pitched like shit.
Well, something that happened in this game with Peterson is that first time through the order when he got assaulted by the Diamondbacks, got absolutely bombarded. He was very sinker heavy in a right-handed heavy lineup.
That was it too. He said too many sinkers.
But then, so maybe this is people working together. He went heavy four-seam next 2 times around. He retired 10 of the last 11 he faced. Again, pressure was off. You've given up 5 runs in the first 2 innings, but it was a situation where he did settle in. I remember noticing through him like, there were a lot more fastballs. Checking on Baseball Savant. I'll get the exact numbers for you guys now. And it was back to when Peterson was at his best originally 3 years ago. And then we liked what we saw from him last year when he's facing those righties. He's putting the fastballs high and he's darting the changeups low. So
and he said too many changeups too because apparently they want him sinker changeup, and he wants to be
all the time.
He said that he doesn't like the sinker changeup because he feels like every righty in baseball now is diving out over the plate against him. So he feels like that's not a good thing because all you're doing is you're leading them to then keep diving over the plate because everything's going away from them.
And so maybe David's onto something because that first time through was 40% sinkers, 26% changeups. Second time through, 45% fastballs, 10% sinkers, 16% changeups. More sliders, more curves. And that last time through, it was basically all fastball, curveball, slider, not very many sinkers or changeups. Which,
to be fair, when we've talked
I
about
don't disagree
Peterson
with
in
him.
the past, we loved the four-seam slider combo. We thought that. Remember when his slider was like low-key one of the nicest sliders in baseball?
But maybe this is something where it's about where the Justin Willard pitching philosophy is, where he talks about nasty in the zone. David Peterson does not zone his fastball. David Peterson
his
throws
slider.
that. He tries those are chase pitch for him. He zones the slider more than the fastball, but he wants that fastball high over the zone. He's the one because if you do get a piece of that, it's not a good pitch necessarily.
No.
He's trying to tunnel and get his extension on that. So this seems like it might be the first butting of heads between the new pitching stuff and one of the pitchers who's been here the longest, actually. So
Longest tenured Met.
All the great things we heard about Justin Willard, and I think Justin Willard's a beast. The one thing was that there were some slight possible concerns about communication. In a role like this, where a lot more communication was necessary for a guy who had not been in the show before, when last time he was the assistant to a guy named Andrew Bailey who was in the show, who sometimes has had some issues with communication himself. Like, it seemed like that was the thing that could have created some impasse.
Not to look back at the ex-girlfriend here, but also that was one of the things that Jeremy Hefner was applauded for, outside of like being a good pitching guy, was that he was excellent at communication.
Yes, especially as a former ball player, been in his organization a very long time. That also could be a situation where it's just new.
Yeah.
Like David Peterson, it's the only pitcher coach he ever knew in his career because he came up in 2020 and Hefner was here in 2019. So
The longest tenured Met.
That's what I'm saying, like the entire time. So a lot of these other guys who are coming up through the system, or guys who've been acquired, they've had a lot of different pitching coaches. Yeah, longest tenured Met. And the guys who come through the system, Dan McKinney's now our assistant pitching coach. He came from Binghamton. So Peterson's a guy who's like, wow, that was my guy. Like, now you're telling me to pitch a different way. It's not being effective. And then when you make such a stark change in a game, I can understand why you're going and being petty after it.
Yeah, because those comments were quite loud to me. Something that, have you ever heard David Peterson's comments ever about anything? When we interviewed him, we were like, hey, David, you got more to say, man? He's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, okay.
And then flip side of this, Manaea. I just for all the ERA people out there,
This
I know
is why it's
the ERA
stat.
changed a little bit in this game, but they didn't even take those runs off the board for when Robert dropped the fly ball in center field.
Which
Again,
was definitely an error.
I think so. I mean, that was another funny one compared to the Beatty one from Thursday, where it's like he covered a lot of ground. Unbelievable tracking that ball.
I think he ran 175 feet. Like, that would have been, if he did that, that's got to be what, 2 OAA on one play? But like
that was me in softball, where I get to a spot, but then I shield my face with the glove. I'm like, now I got to find this ball in this microsecond. But I watch him pitch, and I can't even believe what we saw in 2024.
I almost like gasp at watching him pitch now as like I want to give him a hug. I feel bad too. Like we talked about this on the wind up because we did players that we're worried about. We mentioned Manaea, mentioned Christian Javier. I want to give these guys hugs. Like it just feels like you don't have what you had because something external is going on in terms of health or injury or whatever it is. Because this version of him, the face that he has on the mound, I think some people might mistake it as like looking disinterested or looking like he's going through the motions. Saw some stuff on Twitter about that. I think I think his entire attitude right now is, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is this happening to me? To me, it feels like a confused because he doesn't even know himself why this is happening.
No, and it's the working against your body. Then sometimes overthrowing and missing your spots. Like this start, he did get over 95 times by my count. 6 times he got it to
95
at least
times. You said 95 very quickly.
90. He got 290 miles per hour on 5 occasions.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. There we go. Just to clarify that one right there. But it's hard. And like again, it's cool that in a game you're losing by a lot, Manaea can come in and throw 70 pitches.
And even for David Peterson to get through 5 after having absolutely nothing.
Because he found it after that second inning. I thought he was going to have to get literally taken out of that second inning. And the fact that he was able to get it back together. And also,
Mark Viento's bad defense, too, in that game as well.
I was also going to say it's annoying to watch Ryan Nelson come out and use the wind and get like 22 inches of induced vertical break on some of those fastballs. And they were college teammates, briefly. The broadcast was showing that a lot. I think it was a shared like locker room for a season where Nelson was probably freshman but got no play, and Peterson was leaving. But I was like, oh, this guy looks really good on the other side right now. We can't do anything against him. And it was a lineup that, again, felt bad. Corey Blanco, I feel like that was Tuesday and Wednesday, some of the worst play appearances he's had this season.
Yes.
He had to get taken out for a pinch runner in the close game on Tuesday night. It's gotten very tight all of a sudden.
Very, very tight. Didn't think that on April 9th we'd be feeling tight watching the New York Mets, but here we are. Boo Birds came out too, which...
Lots. I mean, also, Thursday night, well within your rights.
My dad texted me and I said, yeah, this is one of the few times where I go, I think you're totally right to be booing this. This is a shameful performance.
Cold. You blew a gem by your young ace.
I saw
you got a first inning home run.
Saw one of Geraldo Perdomo's foul balls hit my seat that I'm normally in at the game. 100% hit the seat that I
hit
have.
The seat.
Hit the seat. There's no doubt about it. Smoked the seat on foul ball, and I was like, yeah, there it is. I didn't go to the game. This is what I get.
Also, something that we've talked about the last few years with the Mets in the Mendoza era and stuff like that, I think about every single day. It's like, I don't know what the lineup looks like tomorrow. I have no idea. I have no idea who's playing what position. I don't know who's hitting in what spot in the order. I really would like, for my sake, some consistency. I can't even believe how these guys probably feel about it.
We've talked to some former pros. There is a comfortability that comes with knowing what you're expected to do even the night before because you can prepare. It feels like nobody knows what's going to happen except like Lindor, Soto. Like those guys know they're playing. That's about it.
Yeah. Should we anything else from this series, or want to get to a few little things before we move on?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else from this series. Not really. I don't know. It just
not really. That's it.
It sucked.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Forget it.
Two reasons for relative optimism, especially I think in the problem spots of this team right now. I'd say number one, AJ Minter was in a rehab appearance. He pitched baseballs.
My booms for when he comes onto the field.
I forgot about that. I can't believe you remembered that. He pitched, got to 94 miles an hour, was fine. We're probably gonna be a very long road for AJ Minter. I if he's here before May, I'd be shocked. I think that's a good thing. Number two, Christian Scott had another start at AAA. He looked very good, much better than his first start, which did not pitch very well. The start looked really, really, really good. Fastball missed tons of bats. Distinct slider and sweeper. New splitter was nasty. Good against the lefties. This looks like a situation where I think that Christian Scott's going to be in play kind of soon.
And third, apparently Juan Soto has begun doing some hitting activities again. He hasn't started running yet, but
it seemed like he never stopped hitting. But I think
Juan Soto never stops hitting.
That's what I'm saying. Running. Juan Soto's got to run. If Juan Soto can jog, just tell him to play. I do not care.
I honestly, I don't want Juan Soto to run particularly hard the rest of the year.
The rest of the year, that's it. Don't run anymore.
Hit 40 home runs. You don't have to do a lot of running.
I mean, just yeah. I don't know. I'm curious about how we're going to play this rotation for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
I'm curious what happens with Tobias Myers. I'm curious if Christian Scott gets worked into any of this.
At some point, Myers and Brazoban are probably both just going to be sent down just to get a spot start from a Christian Scott, from whoever else is going to be the next guy. I don't know if it's going to be Jonah Tong just yet.
I still don't know if it's going to be Tong. That color's still kind of a mess, but Christian Scott, he might be a little bit too good compared to what a guy like Sean Manaea is giving you right now to like keep down. Like just to get a strike thrower with distinct breaking balls and like to be, even if let's say even Tobias Myers goes to rotation and Christian Scott goes into Tobias Myers' role, I think that would be an upgrade over the Sean Manaea roster spot. Basically just he replaces Sean Manaea in the roster.
Yeah, which
that was a real roundabout way of saying that, but yeah.
you got there.
Found it, but it's and we kind of said the first chunk of this season looked like it might have been a bit of a slog.
A trap.
Yeah, there's a lot of travel. We're going back out west on Monday. We come back home, going back out west right after that. It feels like this team might get a little bit worse before it gets better. Not to rain on any parades.
I feel a little sleepy.
It feels sleepy. It's cold. Let's say these guys gotta go out. Go out on one of those planes out west. Someone's got to just
rip a chair out of the seat, out of the ground.
I think it's the opposite. Get some cards out. Get a bottle of liquor out there. Have a good time with the fellas.
Oh, I'm not saying angry. Just like you're having such a good time that you're like, let's get crazy.
You're having too much fun.
Too much fun. Someone's got to get drunk on the plane.
Yeah. We'll see you. I'm just going to do it quiet. I'm FaceTiming my kids. But I really just, watching this team these last couple of days, it has felt more sluggish than funnish.
Those guys could play a little beer die on the plane.
I'll tell you this: I've been keeping close tabs on the Miami Marlins. I watch those games. I'm having a great time.
They do have fun playing baseball. There's no doubt about it.
Those
The
guys
Mets don't look like they have that much fun playing baseball.
Those guys are jumping around. They're hugging each other. They're screaming. The Marlins had a loss on Tuesday night that I think it would have killed the average Mets fan. They basically they lost because of catcher defense. Sandy Alcantara got yanked with 2 outs in the ninth, working on a second complete game shutout. Anthony Bender comes in. Next pitch, double steal. 2 pitches after that, sac fly. Oh, it was 1 out. Sac fly got to the 2 outs. In a 1-run game, he bounces the ball. Agustin Ramirez, who's a disaster behind the plate, tries to backhand. It goes 2 feet away. Ellie De La Cruz slides in, gets up, screams in his face. And then they gave up like 6 runs in the 10th right after that. Again, that's kind of loss that would kill a horse. But they come out the next 2 days, have a great time playing again. I'm like, the Mets just need a little bit of fun.
Need a little fun. They need some fucking OMG bullshit again or something.
Don't say that because people actually legitimately want them to re-sign Jose Iglesias.
Okay, not there.
The fact that he texted JD Martinez about OMG is like, dude, gotta move on.
You gotta move on.
I guess Jose Iglesias, if he does come back, he has to serve the suspension from berating that umpire in the wild card series last year. That people forget about that, but it's just
almost assaulted him.
Anything else this series? I mean, just Freddie was inconsistent. I think I hit everything on my list.
I think we gave the people 30 good minutes of misery.
Yeah, 30 good minutes. I'm gonna see if Frankie got to us. We did this one quick after the game ended.
We got the A's series preview.
A's series preview. My God, I'm trying.
Frankie Peppers. Hold on, Frankie.
We got the A's series preview. Staying in New York.
Yep.
They just played 3-game set against the Yankees. The A's got to be like, well, why are we here right now? It's the coldest week. This coldest New York April I remember in a minute.
Those guys just get the same. They're not changing hotel rooms, right?
Probably not. I mean, I guess not. They put them up in Manhattan. Why change?
Yeah, right.
I saw Lawrence Butler on a TikTok with Kate Maniscalco, Baseball for Baddies. And shoot. It's like, what do you like to do when you get to a new city? He's like, buy something. He's like, I like to go shopping. That's cool as hell.
Technically born in Jersey, Lawrence Butler.
Really? So him getting a week in New York, probably love him to shop. But here's the pitching matchups against the Athletics. Friday night, Clay Holmes versus
former Met.
I'm coming home, JT Ginn. Does he
get him a video?
Does he get a montage?
But let him come out the simple man.
Jeff's getting a nice montage, right?
Jeff deserves a nice montage.
Nice. Saturday, 4:10. Bit of an ace off here. Kodai Senga versus Jacob Lopez.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Sunday, 1:40. Freddie Peralta, Aaron Savale.
Ace off.
I mean, maybe one way back when, but this is, again, if you guys heard those pitchers, you're probably not exactly afraid of much at the moment. Where the A's usually will get to you are their bats. But weirdly, to this point this season, his bat's been a little cold.
Yeah, hopefully the cold New York weather helps him, although I think it's getting nice this weekend. So maybe that will help the Mets too.
It'll be the 50s. 50s and sunny.
The one game the Mets have shown up and hit was opening day, which was beautiful, sunny, 65 degrees. So maybe just a little bit of sun, a little bit of daytime fresh air, a little warm breeze maybe gets the Mets going, because I cannot watch more of this awful hitting.
I just there's too many little rules about how to make this team go right now. It's like, why has to be nice weather, the wind's got to blow the right way, the right guys have to be in the lineup in the right spots and the right times. Like,
it's very
just play some ball.
Play a little baseball. Have some fun. This A's lineup, though, when things are clicking, is absolutely loaded. Shea Langeliers will hit multiple home runs this weekend. Name Shea because family, huge Mets fans.
Yes.
Shea Langeliers, massive Mets fan growing up. Named Shea after Shea Stadium. Pretty cool.
Which is very cool. I mean, it will not be cool when he hits home runs this weekend. Is he still lead the league in home runs? He's second now?
I think he's got like 7 or something like that. It's like him and Drake Baldwin, funny enough, two Braves prospect catchers.
Two Braves catchers. Let's double check that one real quick. But also guys who have been cold but will get hot. Nick Kurtz is unbelievable hitter. He's someone who could contend for MVPs in his future. He's come out of the gate a little bit slow right now.
Still walking a ton.
Still walking a ton, but he's just swinging and missing. He's taking daddy hacks. I think right now he's getting a heavier dose of breaking balls, so it's affecting him. And then we got Tyler Soderstrom, who's one of my favorites in the league. He's just one of those guys who just kind of does it all right, which I love. Shea Langeliers he still leads the league. Him, Jordan Walker, Drake Baldwin, and still Chase DeLauder. Kind of forgot about that.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, but Tyler Soderstrom, great bat. And then Jacob Wilson, your boy, has looked horrible.
About as bad as it could be, so he's going to get 7 hits this weekend. Brent Rooker's been a little cold. I think he's heating up more.
He went out with looked like an oblique today, so we might miss him.
Okay. That's bad for him, good for the Mets.
He could be gone. Max Muncy, the other Max Muncy, former first-round pick, Virginia?
No, high school.
High school kid. But he's come out of the gate decent, not great. He put it nice. I thought he would hit a big home run today against the Yankees, but bounced us up against the wall. And then you got Lawrence Butler, who we just talked about. He loves to shop, but he also was a good baseball player. So and
Jeff McNeil.
They know Jeff's coming.
Yeah,
Jeff's not coming out of the gate well.
Mets fans, don't boo him.
No, I don't
Don't
think
boo
Mets.
Jeff.
I don't think Mets fans will.
A lot of people don't like Jeff.
You don't boo though.
I agree. I wouldn't. I mean,
did a
just
lot here.
friend of the podcast, I would never do that. But I hope
Yeah.
Mets fans don't boo him. Unless he
No,
hits a home run, then boo him. That's fine.
And he'd love that, honestly.
Yeah, that's a tip of the cap.
Yeah,
That's a respect moment.
I don't think we get boos, but you guys let us know if you want to boo. I mean, I don't think we're gonna boo Jeff McNeil.
I
But
hope
then
not.
after that, again, JT Ginn, Jacob Lopez, Aaron Savali. This is the back three of one of the worst rotations in baseball.
I'm not a body shamer, but Aaron Savali looks like he's made of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, Jacob Lopez, a fun, funky lefty, has not pitched well in his. I think he's made 2 starts so far this year, but he's got a lot of nonsense that he likes to throw at you. It will mix up a lot of pitches. The hardest one will probably come in 91, 92 miles per hour.
Junk.
This is the kind of guy that last year would have destroyed the Mets. I hope that the way they've built this team this year, similar to what we just watched Eduardo Rodriguez to carve us up on Thursday, I'd hope that we were able to get a hold of one against him.
The fun thing with JT Ginn, right? JT Ginn, he gets a ton of swords. This is another
Really?
like a fun guy. Gets a ton of
Yeah,
swords.
you
or
talked
at least,
about that.
or at least did last year, but constantly gets shelled. But like, kind of doesn't deserve to. So I think it's bad defense behind him. He's better than his numbers show for sure.
I feel like last year he was like the whip was lower than what the ERA should have been. He's still
Yes.
probably true talent, like a 4 is the ERA guy, but
Yeah.
it's fine. This JT Ginn was part of the Mets' famous like 8-year run where they took a Mississippi State Bulldog every single season.
And the Chris Bassett trade, right?
Yes, the Chris Bassett trade right out of the lockout 2022. But Ginn has a wicked cutter. His cutter kind of like JT Ginn, everything moves down, and his cutter will come up at you, which is why he gets those ugly ass swords.
And my last shout out is always my boy Elvis Alvarado. You're going to see him come into a game. He doesn't know where it's going. He's going to throw 100. His slider's going to be 92. Good luck if he's feeling it that day. You won't touch him.
Yeah, otherwise this bullpen. Jack Perkins has stuff too, but sometimes they can go in and out. The skeleton of Scott Barlow's still out there. Skeleton of Mark Leither's out there. Hogan Harris is kind of funky. He's a wacky lefty, but this is a team that we should be able to score off of. I would love to get in some shootouts this series.
Oh, it'd be great to see.
Oh, and we totally forgot another foreign bet. Carlos Cortez on the bench.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And former
Gamecock.
Gamecock. Yeah. Carlos Cortez, WBC guy, too, Puerto Rico.
Same with Daryl Hernandez. He was a huge WBC guy.
Huge.
Him and Lindor going to do a nice hug together.
Big hugs coming.
Huge hug.
Hug
there. But
watch.
I'll never say in April you got to win a series, but I think ahead of a long road trip facing the Dodgers beginning of next week,
You got to win a series.
with the Moon City Field this week and the Moon St. Louis last week, you gotta find a way to get 2 out of 3 here.
Need to so badly. And at least if you're going to lose, it's got to be like, let the other team deserve to win.
Definitely keeping a close eye on Senga because we saw the velocity go down when he was pitching on what we call regular rest.
He shouldn't. I think he won't be on regular rest. I mean, I think he'll be on
This is it.
5.
Off days begin now.
Yeah, he'll be on 5 days rest from now on. So
Yes, so this is an important start to watch with him. Similar to Freddie, like you keep the 5-man rotation when you need this, so you can get this Freddie Peralta start
Yes.
on this Sunday. Again, kind of would have been nice to have him face the Dodgers on Monday instead of David Peterson, but if you need a rubber game at home before going out west, I really want to see if Freddie can win one.
Give me Frankie Peppers.
Frankie Peppers. Let me see if we got him again. We started this one quick.
It's okay if Frankie, if you missed us, it's okay.
That's totally fine. No Frankie tonight, late night game, no big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Frankie's got to go to work in the morning. I understand. He's a hardworking man.
Frankie's got to drive and call WFAN all day.
Yeah, of course. If he doesn't, who will?
No, we love you, Frankie. Also, shout out to everybody out there. Thank you for a lot of nice comments on YouTube last episode. Appreciate you guys.
Big shout out to everybody over there. Thanks for supporting Mets'd. Make sure you subscribe to us over on YouTube. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google. Drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Giraffe Nick Mark. We'll catch you guys probably tomorrow. I think we're going to drop another video on the weekend.
Yeah, maybe if we get it up by Friday afternoon, if not Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, something like that. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Let's go Mets.